Hi everyone. Today we are going to be making a daisy chain necklace, and we're going to start that in just a moment. Hi everyone, Monique here with Little Gems Creations 1 Jewelry. Today we're going to be making a daisy chain necklace. So you're going to need your seed beads. You're going to need a beading needle, just a teeny one, teeny tiny beading needle. I always have a threader handy, but I hardly ever use it. You're going to need some fire line. Now this one is 6 pound. You're going to need some jump rings. You're going to need necklace extender. You're also going to need a head pin and a clasp. So let's get started. So to start off, I am going to take my spool of fire line. Now you're probably wondering why I got such a big spool of fire line, but the fishing store that I buy my fire line from was closing out. So I got this at a really good price, and I figure I'm pretty much set for life. And my husband can use it too for fishing, if he asks really nicely. Okay, so the way I measure out my wire is I do the length. Here, I'll just show you. The length of my arms pulled out wide. Okay, so I go as far as my arms will go, and I count that as one length, okay? We're going to do that 5 times. It's going to be a lot of line to work with at first, but I don't like having breaks in my necklaces. So I'm at 3, 4, and here's the last pull. 5. Okay. Oh, scissors would be a good thing. You need scissors. Don't forget scissors. I forgot scissors. Okay, I'm back. I got scissors. So we're going to give this a snip. We're going to put the sticker back on our line. And we'll get that out of our way. Okay, so now we're going to take our pin, needle, sorry. And we're going to thread it. Now, spider wire or fire line is a braided line. So I don't know if you saw me, but I kind of slipped my fingers over it like this. I just find that that gets all the threads going in the right direction. So now what I'm going to want to do is I want to take both of my ends and I want to pull them straight with my needle on there. So I'm going to do that. And like I said, it's a lot of wire. And it will get tangled and stuff, but I just think it's better than having a break in your necklace. Okay, so put the 2 ends together now very carefully. You're going to want to bring that needle to the center. And take time to untangle your line if it gets tangled. Oh. Hang on. Had an oops. Okay, there's one end. Where did the other end go? Yeesh. Chihuahua. Okay, so you know this always happens too, right? What have we done? See, and even an expert, a trained professional, gets themselves all kerfuffled. There we go. There. We're back on track. Okay, so I dropped my ends. So let me find my ends and I'll come. Oh my gosh, that was the stretch. Okay, so I found my 2 ends and I'm just very carefully pulling my needle to the center of the 2 ends. There we go. Now, the customer who ordered this daisy chain necklace, and I'll put you closer down to the business, she wants black. So we're gonna put on 8 black beads. Now, as you can see, my beads have been dropped on occasion, and so they are all mixed up. So I sort them as I go. 2, that's very blue. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I've got my 8 beads. I am going to take them almost to the end of my thread. But I want to leave a good 6-inch tail, okay? Maybe even 8-inch tail. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back through that beginning seed bead, okay? And this is going to form a circle. So then we pull it all the way through and you'll see it's going to form a circle. See? Now we're going to do the center bead. Now this person I'm making this for does not want a lot of contrast. So she wants black beads for the daisy and she wants a blue bead for the center. So my working thread is coming out this way. I am going to go up through the middle. I'm going to catch. So there's 4 beads on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's 4 beads on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going through the 4th one out. And I'm going to pull my thread tight. Again, like I said, we're working with a lot of thread. And there is our first daisy. See how there's not much contrast at all? That's what she wanted though. So now we're going to do 2 beads. And then we are going to go through the top 2 beads. So if you picture this daisy as an 8 beaded circle, so we're going through the top 2 beads, pulling our thread till it's tight. And I hold those beads so they don't move around. I'm pulling this tight. Now I'm going back through those 2 beads, the top 2 beads now. gonna pick up 6 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I'm going to go in the bead on the opposite side. So my working yarn or my working thread is coming through here, out this way. So it's coming out this way. I am putting my needle in this way, coming out this way of this bead beside it, and I'm pulling that tight, and I hold the beads while I'm doing this so nothing shimmies around. For the first little bit they want to move, but then you're golden. You see I have a bit of thread there, I just give it a tug, it goes away. So now they want a plain dark blue bead in the center. So I go up through the center. I have 4 beads on this side, 4 beads on this side. I'm going up through one of the top 4 and I'm pulling tight. Now see, we've got 2 daisies. It's hard to tell with these colors, but that's what the customer wanted. So 2 daisies. Now, when I make a daisy chain choker, I do 54 flowers. So I'm going to do another one for you. Okay, so you see my working thread is coming out there. I want to take my needle and go in the opposite way and come back out where that working thread is coming out to start with. Okay, I hold my beads while I pull my thread tight. Now my working thread is underneath those 2 beads I have on top. I want to bring my working thread up through those 2 beads. There we go, holding my beads while I pull my thread. And part of that too is that because we're using such a lot of thread, sometimes they get caught on things. Okay, now I'm picking up 6 seed beads. By the way, I'm doing this with 10-aught seed beads. 10-aught, 11-aught, something like that. The small ones. 4, 4, 5, and 6. So I've got my 6 seed beads on my needle. My working thread is coming out this way. See that there? The working thread. I'm putting my needle in the opposite side that the working thread is coming from. And this is going to form a circle, right? Hold my beads while I pull my thread. And there's our circle. So we got 2 beads on the bottom, 2 beads on the side, 2 beads on top, 2 beads on the bottom. She wants a dark blue. So, 1 dark blue. We're going up through the center. We're going in one of those top 2 beads. Oops. That's why you hold your beads, in case you get a snag. Okay, this is good. We got a dust up here. If ever you get a dust up, Just check out, pull out, do what you need to do to make it work. So there we go. We've got 3 daisies there. Now you're going to do this until you've got 54 daisies. And once you've got that, you come back to me, okay? And, you know, enjoy yourself. Have a coffee, turn on some music. If you haven't had a chance to hit that subscribe button, do it now. And if you want notifications of whenever I'm doing another video, you want to hit that bell. So do your 54 flowers and then come back. Okay, so I'm on the last flower of my daisy chain necklace. So we are just going to do the last flower. So I'm coming out of this. I'm going in with my needle to this side. See that? Okay, we're gonna pull the thread. Now I'm going back up through those two, and I hold my beads. I always hold my beads just to make sure that they don't shift. Then we're gonna pick up 6 beads, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm gonna go in through this bead. So my working thread is coming out this side, and I'm going in this way with my needle. Okay, and then to put in that center bead, I am going to pick up a bead, and it's going to go through the middle, up through one of the top 2, and I'm pulling it tight. So that was my last flower. That was my 54th flower. Now we're going to make the loop that's going to hold either our clasp or our extension, or necklace extension. So I'm going to pick up 6 beads. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The reason I'm doing 6 beads is because they will divide nicely. Now I'm going to go through those top 2 beads of the necklace. Okay. Now I'm going to go back through those 6 beads a second time. So I'm going to go through 3 and then the other 3. This is just to reinforce that loop, because if any part of the necklace is tugged on, it'll be this part. Then I'm going to go back through those 2 beads. Now if you want to go through those 6 beads again and again and again, you can, whatever floats your boat. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start doing a knot. So my thread is coming out here. I am going to take my needle and go in the space between the middle bead and the 2 side beads, and I am going to make a loop with my thread. So see, I have this loop here. Okay, I'm going to put my needle through the loop once. I'm going to put my needle through the loop twice. And then guiding my loop so that it's going between the top 2 beads and the 2 side beads, I'm going to pull it tight. Okay? Now, you never cut where you put a knot. Never, ever, 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 ever. So I'm going to go down through those 2 beads. I'm going to follow my weaving line. So I'm going to go through the 2 bottom beads. Oh. Through the 2 bottom beads. Okay, whoops, pull it right out of my hands. Okay, so what's going on here? Oh, I have, there we go. Had a little bit of a knot in my thread. So then we're going to go through the top beads of the next flower, and then I'm once again on the side right here. So my thread is coming out right here. I'm going to do another knot. Okay, So I make a loop with my thread. So I've got the two sides of my thread here. I'm going to go through it once. Make sure you get both sides. And I'm going to go through it twice. Now, guiding my knot with my fingers, I am going to pull that so that the knot ends up between the top two beads of that flower and the two side beads. I'm going to pull it tight. Then, as I said before, you never cut where you've put a knot. I usually put about 3 knots in my necklaces. 3 or 4 or 5, actually in anything that I make, I do 3 or 4 or 5 knots. However much thread I have left over, I usually go to town and make lots of knots, because then you're just guaranteeing that your necklace won't come apart. And I always do my knots on the side. So for this side, I'm gonna do 3 knots. Okay, so I make my loop, go through my loop twice, pull tight, guiding it between the top 2 beads and the 2 side beads, pull it tight, and then I'm just gonna follow the weaving. You never cut where you knot, never, ever, ever, ever. Okay, so we're just gonna weave this through a bit. Oops, I've got a bit of a knot. So whenever you got a knot, just pull it back out the way it was. Okay, and then I'm gonna weave through, and then, okay, I am going to cut. I had a pair of scissors. Oh, it looks like they walked away. So I'm gonna go find a pair of scissors and I'm gonna cut here. So what you do to one end, you wanna do to the other. So you see my loop there now? That's where I'm gonna put my jump ring to attach my clasp and my necklace extender. So I'm gonna pause here, do the exact same thing with the knots on the other side. And then we'll meet back. Okay, so I've got both sides done. See? So now we're on the home stretch. Now we need our tools. I am going to use round nose and flat nose. Okay. And I'm going to bring you guys closer in. Okay. So we are going to use these jump rings. Okay, and we are going to use a necklace extender. I'm gonna have to put those in a new bag. Necklace extender and a clasp and jump rings and an eye pin. Head pin, head pin, head pin. Okay, so whenever you go to use a clasp, I've been caught before, always make sure it opens. I had one I used and the darn thing didn't open. And I had already put it on the necklace. So I'm taking a jump ring, I'm opening it. I am taking one end of the necklace. Now you know how we put on 6? I'm going between 3 and 3. I am now putting on my clasp. So I got clasp, necklace, and now we are just, oops, going to close it up. Okay, and you always open your jump ring sideways. Okay, so there we go. Clasp is on. Now we're going to go to the other side. Using the same size jump ring. We are opening the jump ring. You always open them sideways, right? You never open them backwards. You always open them sideways. We're gonna put on our necklace extender, and just like the other side, we're going between the 3 beads and 3 beads. And then we are going to close it up. There we go. Close her up. Now, just to add a little something, I'm gonna do a black bead, a blue bead, and a black bead to go with the pattern of this. And I'm putting it on a little head pin. I'm gonna use my nail to fold it over to get a nice close fold. I am going to use my round nose, and I put the pin around until I've got it like this. Do you see that? Okay. Now, before I close it, I want to thread the end of the necklace extender through there. Now with my flat nose pliers, I am grabbing that, and I'm just gonna give this a nice, whoops, we're not going between the beads, we're going above the beads. Okay. Just, it's kind of loose, so I'm just gonna grab it and give it a tug. Okay, and we're going above the beads, and we're just gonna give that a nice finish. With the little jump ring, we're gonna take our flush cutters, and we are going to cut the end of that head pin. Then we're gonna just make sure everything's pressed down so we don't get any snags. We don't want any sharp spots, and I also check it with my fingers, right? Because we don't want sharp spots. And here we go. We now have our completed necklace. Clasp, necklace extender, and there is whoopsies. There is our completed necklace. And there we go. So hit that like and subscribe. If you want notifications of when I do a new video, hit the little bell. I'm also going to put a link in the description for my other channel, which deals with knitting and crocheting. And thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye now.